Morning, everybody. CW here. Excuse me. Let's take a closer look at these molds now that I've got them all cleaned up. Here we have the, I just realized that that's taken a few hits there. There's a burr. There's a burr there. That's been, somebody's been whacking on that to knock the bullets out. Anyway, this is the 490 wall mold, and it's really nice. It's really good shape inside. There's the one cavity and there's the other cavity. Nice, clean, good shiny, no pitting. Outside the mold came pretty good. It's still got a little bit of patina left. You can see where somebody's done some filing or grinding on it. But you can see everything is there. Everything works good. It's got a little bit of heat colors in the sprue plate. And you can see there it says, get the glare right, 490. And that means it's a 490 ball. And there's that one. Came really clean. The second one is the 457. You can see it there. 457. And this is the second round ball mold. This one here had a little bit of a stain on the sprue plate. Don't really know why. It had a little bit of a history. It came really pretty clean. I soaked it overnight in Evapo-Rest, and the coating, the bluing was so light on it that it basically took it all off. But that's okay. Just, you know, if you use this stuff, it works great. Just know that bluing is rust. It's a controlled rust. So Evapo-Rust will remove it. But inside we've got really nice looking good cavities. Not quite as clean as the 490 ball, but still pretty good shape. The next one is the roughest of them. This is the 356-402, and this being a 2 cavity, I put it in that set of rebuilt Lee molds, handles, and you can see there's still a little bit of junk on it. It may or may not have come off with a longer soak. I only wanted to get the really loose, heavy stuff off, so I only soaked it overnight. This one probably could have used more, and this one has got a little bit of light pitting in this cavity. We'll see what happens. We're going to cast with it today. This cavity's pretty good, and over here upside down it's pretty similar. This back cavity has a little bit of tarnish and residue in it, where this cavity's pretty good. Overall, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. It you know, will trigger some people's OCD, and it's not going to make a really nice slick shiny bullet, but it probably isn't going to affect the way it shoots in the least. And the next one here is the hollow point mold. And this one I did not soak because it was in pretty good shape. I just gave it a rub, and it's in pretty good shape. And it's a 457-122, and this one is on the bigger blocks. And this is the hollow point pin from my 358-477 mold. And there's the inside of this cavity. And the reason that I wanted to show you this one is because I brought out my other mold that's exactly the same number, but it's different. The way these pins work, I'll show you, they're really pretty neat, and you could make these pretty easy, and you could make them adjustable pretty easy. You'd make this collar here and then drill the hole in it for whatever size pin you had, and these pins vary in diameter. You know, it goes by the hole in the base of your mold. And this one here was a little bit bigger. And then what they do is then that on that big collar there, the bottom part, that gives you a stop to give you how far in the mold the pin goes. Then they cut a groove in it and they put a regular old E-clip on. And then over here is a screw with a shoulder on it. So when it goes in, you use the gap from the E-clip goes around the screw, and then it drops underneath and behind, and you turn it, and it goes underneath the screw, and it stops the pin from falling out. So it holds it. It can't fall out. So it's a pretty nice design. And then they just turn a wood knob, put it on, and pin it. It's got one pin through it. So to do this yourself, or to do it, what I'm probably going to do is I'll turn all these parts, and then instead of making this, when I set this into there, instead of making it permanent, I'll put a set screw in it. And then I can adjust the depth of my firing pin. I'm sorry. It looks like a firing pin, don't it? My hollow point pin. So I can make it a deep pin or a shallow pin. Can't do much about diameter unless you were to flare it where it goes inside the mold. But if you did that, you wouldn't be able to remove it the same way that this mold is designed to have it removed. And there's how deep this hollow point pin goes. And that's about normal. It might go just a little bit deeper. The actual pin might have gone just a little bit deeper. But being this is a rifle bullet, not a pistol bullet, it's got velocity in its favor. So you don't need a giant deep hollow point. Matter of fact, a thinner, more shallow hollow point is actually preferred in most rifle stuff. Again, just because you've got velocity in your favor, and you don't need as much hollow point to get expansion. And here is my old Lyman 457-122 mold. Exactly the same numbers, different. This has got a bigger hollow point pin, and let's see what the depth is different. Yeah, see, it's even a little bit deeper. It goes into the cavity just a little bit deeper, and it's tapered. You can see here, if it would focus, you could see it. There's a taper on the pin. So that hollow point pin over there is not designed for that mold. It's designed for the 357, 358. So the design of the mold is, you know, same number, same design. We're going to cast them side by side and check them out and measure them and look at them and see what we get. But the biggest difference here is this is on a small block. Okay, small Lyman blocks, where this one is on the large Lyman blocks. See the difference? It's quite a bit bigger. Quite a bit bigger. So we're going to cast those side by side and see what we come up with. But the pins are just they're quite similar, but they're just a little bit different, and they're different diameters. So let's get these on the heat, and let's cast some bullets and see what we get. We're not going to show any of that because we don't want to trip any of YouTube's sensors. We don't want to upset or trigger anybody. So we're just going to cast these off camera, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what we end up with. For you, it's going to be a second. So just stand by. Just like that, we're back. And it cast pretty good. No problems with anything, really. Everything was really what you'd expect. Let's start over here with the 490 ball. And that comes in with this alloy at about 491. Oh, that was really fat. What do we get there? 492. Oh, on the seam. There is a little bit of a seam. 492. And the weight is 177 grains. That's the 50 caliber. Here's the what is it, what was this one? Forgetting now. 457. 457 is coming in at 452. It's coming in a little bit small. Let's try another one and see if that wasn't just a... It's a good looking ball. There is a problem. It's got a little bit of a sprue on it. Usually, usually balls are better than that. They're more round. Got 452, and it's coming in 136 grains. And let's go over here to the 9mm bullet, and you know they're pretty good. That's a cull. That's a cull. I didn't cull these yet. I just cast them. Let's see what we get here. This is a cull. Little sags in a lot of these. All right, there's one that's not so bad. Sorry for that. I kicked the camera. Let's zoom in here. Show you this bullet. You can see it's got a little bit of texture in it, like we said we would have from the mold. A little bit of pitting in the cavity, but it's got a good base on it. A little bit of something going on right there, but that's not a fault of the mold. And there we go, a little bit of a seam. And let's weigh it. 125 grains, this alloy. And diameter is coming in 358, 359, 360 on the seam. Let's try another one. Just dig deep here. 360, 356. So it's not round. 57, 56, 59, 56. Let's see what this one weighs. At 124. So there we go. It casts pretty good. It's an okay looking bullet. And then we've got the 45s. Now this is my existing 45, and this is the Gould. I'm sorry, I'm still zoomed in there. You can't see everything. This is the Gould. And it has rounded shoulders like that. That's the way it does. There's a little bit of an inclusion there. So this is a cull bullet, flat base, hollow point, flat point, hollow point. And it looks like a good size hollow point, but it's really about proper sized. Maybe even looks small in your hand. That's the one out of my existing mold. So let's put that one down here, and let's weigh that here. 136 on the button. And for a diameter, it's coming in at 459, 458, 457, 458.5, 457.5, and that's what it's supposed to, 457. That's what the mold is called for. So let's grab one of these. That's a new mold cast. And I'll say that it cast really good. We've got those same rounded shoulders. Pretty nice bases. It's a little bit more pronounced of a flat point, I think. And I'll show them to you side by side, but this just looks a little more pronounced. And the hollow point is a little bit smaller. So let's see what we get. And this is a cull. It sagged there. This is a cull. So this isn't a good one to weigh. Let's chuck this back in the pot. Let's grab another one here. This one's got a little bit of sag on the nose, but I think it's going to be all right. It's got a little bit of a sag right there on the nose. But everything else looks really good. So let's weigh this one. Turn this on. Get a diameter while the scale warms up. This one's a little bigger. 459, 460, 458, 458, 459, 460. So this one's just a little bit bigger of a bullet. Let's get a weight on it. 138.6, and with a smaller hollow point, that makes sense. So let's look at these side by side. Now the one on the right hand side, I'm sorry, your left hand side is the old mold. So the one over here is the old mold, and the one over here is the new mold. So let me zoom in for you. That's as much zoom as I've got. And you can see the difference in the hollow points. Other than that, they're identical. The new mold casts them a little bit fatter by a 0.02 and a half. Not enough to worry about. And the weights are really pretty close. Doesn't really look as pronounced a flat point. I think what I'm seeing, or my eye is seeing, is that smaller hollow point producing a larger flat point. Just ever so slightly. Not larger in diameter, but more surface area because it's a smaller hole. And there we go. There we go. The molds worked out really good. They cast really nice. I didn't, do it to produce any kind of bullets. You can see I did the most with a 9mm. But I just cast a few of the balls just to see what they were and how they worked, and I cast up a few of those in each just to see what they are. So I'll powder coat them and keep them, but that's about it. Those I'll just throw in my bag. All right, everybody, there it is. I'm going to try and do a couple videos today, but I got a couple of things that I got to get done, and I got to get ready for the chat tonight. So make sure you come visit us tonight, 8 o'clock, Georgia Shooters Network, or Shooters Connection, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a chat tonight, and we're hoping, at least I'm hoping, we have a special guest. We've asked him a couple times to come on. I hope he's going to make it tonight. That's about it. So yeah, see you later. God bless everybody. CW out.